Greetings, I'm Chappers, Rob Chapman, aka the Monkey Lord, aka anything you particularly would like to name me, I don't really mind, and welcome to Rob Chapman's cookery class. Today I'm going to make you a strawberry cheesecake. Now the thing is, this strawberry cheesecake happens to be raw and vegan, but before you start slamming on the lack of bacon and steak content in this particular cheesecake, feel free to make it with any ingredients you would like. This is just my personal favourite strawberry cheesecake. So, first of all, the ingredients list. Linwood, flax, sunflower, pumpkin sesame seeds and goji berries, which is absolutely badass, delicious and nutritious. Whatever brand you want of dates, the better dates, the better. So don't get crappy, cheap dates, get the best kind of dates. Stoned is always a good thing, but don't do drugs, kids, because that's bad for you. By the way, the only implement I'm going to be using is a knife and a blender, so please don't forget to take the stones out if you do get them with stones in, because it will absolutely f your blender if you don't. A little bit of ground cinnamon, some additional goji berries, which are incredibly nutritious for you, and then lots and lots of strawberries, and these are just from the supermarket, but the more organic and fresher, the better for you. Now there is one additional very important ingredient in this particular recipe, and that's almonds. Now before I show you the almonds, let me explain what I've done to these almonds. What I've done is soaked them, rinsed off the water, and then dried them in an oven. Now I only soaked them for about an hour, and this is why I soak them. Almonds, and in fact all nuts, are covered in a digestive enzyme inhibitor, which means that you can't really digest the coating, the outer shell of the nut, because nuts want to be eaten and pass through to create a new tree in the earth when you shit them out. So if you soak them, the digestive inhibitors fall away and the nut revitalizes itself and actually becomes a real living thing, and it contains a lot more enzymes and nutrients and proteins and important things to make life. So if you want a great nut, soak the nut. It's very important for you. But if you don't want to, don't bother. My nuts are in the oven. So these are nicely roasted after having been soaked, so they're nice and dry, and they're just basically almonds. You could actually use a mixture of almonds and pecans, lots of nuts if you want. You don't have to just use almonds. In fact, sometimes I make this with coconut, and that's also incredibly badass for you. So here are my hands, and we're only going to be using, as I said, this blender. Now it could be any blender. I'm using a NutriBullet because they're really quick and I'm in a hurry because I want nutritious, tasty food before I go and play some more guitar or train. The first thing is to take all of your almonds, blend them. This isn't really cooking, this is more preparing for those with no time who want tasty, energy-full, protein-rich food. And by the way, there's more iron in a sunflower seed than there is in beef. Half a cupful of almonds, it's quite a lot of almonds. I'm making this for about 4 hungry musicians. Probably half this bag of dates go to make the base. Now it says stoned, but like I said before, make sure they really are stoned. Don't just pour them in, because very often they just skip one by accident. So I'm just going to literally go through one at a time and check them. I have some other dates that are less dry that I'm going to mix 50-50 with this particular base mix. So these are Daigle Mooer dates. A source of fibre, helps to maintain a healthy digestive system. And these are a lot more moist. You see that? You want that moistness. Dates are really good for you, full of interesting glucose and fructose and date. Now you notice I'm not really measuring anything. I don't really believe in measuring ingredients because I think people should do things to their own particular taste and then make a judgment on what they feel good about. So, dates, and I also got some cinnamon. Now this is to taste. This isn't a vital ingredient, but I'm just going to put that much in. Make sure that you do put dates in and not just nuts, because if you do just use nuts, you can cause a fire, which happened to me once. If you find your mixture isn't quite wet enough, add a tiny bit of water, but just a little tiny bit of water, because we want this to be like a biscuit base, a buttery biscuit base, without the butter. Yeah, that's it. That's the kind of consistency you want, kind of all gooey and mushed up with bits of whole nut and goodness. So first rule of cooking, I already have messy hands. If you don't have messy hands, go back to instruction 1 and try again. Here's the mixture in my, I suppose, cheesecake dish. Now what you're going to do is spoon this down to the desired thickness. I'm not going to make the whole dish, by the way. This is just the only dish I happen to have. It's really, really sticky and gooey, So I'm actually just going to use my hands for this particular section. Ta-da! All done. So there's half a beautiful dish of raw base. Now this actually gets a little bit harder as it sort of begins to set with all the sugars and everything inside there and all the fats and bits from the nuts. But just to make it get a little bit harder quicker, that sounds really wrong, but you know what I mean. I'm going to sprinkle on top some of this nutritional powder, which is the flax, sunflower, pumpkin, sesame on top. And then press this in with my hand. Just makes it a little bit drier and a bit more biscuity. Done. So, next thing is we're going to make the kind of cheesecakey bit. Now you could use cashew nuts and blend them with strawberries to make almost like a cheese-like consistency, but I don't really like that. I'm going to make a mixture of dates again and strawberries, and that'll be the kind of cream filling to this badass pie. So, first thing is I'm going to wash my hands. I'm back and I'm clean. So now it's time to take some strawberries I prepared earlier and blend them with some dates to make the delicious, nutritious cheesecake filling. I may need a few more strawberries, which means I have to cut the ends off of these with a knife. That's better. This is my dadao, so I should be using this to chop my strawberries. I'm just kidding, I'll be using a kitchen knife like everybody else should do. So firstly, blend almost a full cup of the strawberries. Ooh, almost forgot, sorry. You need a couple of goji berries in there. Just sort of a sprinkling. So strawberries first, then the dates. By the way, I'm not telling anybody to eat a vegan lifestyle. I'm not really a vegan. I've just done a 10-day juice feast and lost a lot of weight. And I'm being vegan for 10 days afterwards, while my body gets used to eating regular human dirty food again. So dates are in there now with the strawberries. This is where it thickens to form a beautiful cheesecake-like delicious topping. Now I know what kind of consistency I'm looking for. This is almost there, but what I want it to do is if I tip it, there's like a delay before the layer moves. So I should go, huh, and then it should go, yeah, okay. Just a few more dates. It's really close. I'm like 3 dates away from perfection. So you can see here's the layer of dirty strawberry goodness, and if I do this, it kind of goes, yeah, alright, and then it begins to move. That's the perfect consistency for this topping. Oh yeah. So there's zero fat in this. It's all just protein and fructose and glucose from the dates. This is a pretty healthy dessert, although I wouldn't make a meal from it, I would just have it as a treat. Camera woman, would you like to lick this spoon? So, put this in the fridge, let it chill, it sets just a little bit, and then I'm going to slice the remaining strawberries really thin and layer them on top. It's done, simple as that. We'll be just back after this commercial. And welcome back, here are my strawberries all sliced nicely. Now I've sliced them along the length of the strawberry because I think it gives a pleasing and romantic heart-shaped slice. But of course, feel free to slice them any way you like. And here's a little interesting fact for you. Fruit contains the same amount of protein as human breast milk, 5%. Dependent upon using the right amount of ingredients, the correct proportion of date to strawberry, if I do this, it shouldn't really wiggle like a jelly, it should just be kind of pretty much firm. And this is optimum. So, that goes there. And if I was feeling in an artistic and creative mood, I would place these in a nice symmetrical pattern and then sprinkle some icing sugar on top or something nice, and then maybe a sprig of lime. Or a sprig of lime? Which world am I living in? A sprig of mint, but I'm not, I'm just going to do this. Okay, there you go. I would defy any human being to have a slice of this and not make that really pleasing yum sound that you do when you eat something that's really pleasing and yummy. So, try making that. Tastes incredible, it's really healthy, it's a good raw vegan snack food or pudding. But of course, feel free to put meat in it if you want. I've enjoyed making this video. I hope you enjoy eating this delicious pudding. Chappers, out. That's your second piece, isn't it, Boo?
Yes.
Was the first piece as good as the second piece?
The second piece was better.